Start streaming.
It's connecting.
Gang. Good to go.
Hello and welcome to the live edition of Gem City Gridiron podcast crew. Today, we have something special for you boys. It is the NBA Lottery Draft Assignment Night. First things first. Whiskey. Boys?
Oh, shit. Woo.
At this point, for those of you who have tuned in, this is a brief little sample for those who haven't. Today, we have myself, Dalton Van Pelt, Scotch on the sidelines, as well as the commissioner. I'll let him do his own introduction.
I don't need any introduction. I'm the defending champ. It is what it is, guys.
It is what it is.
And we have a special guest, our producer, Bill.
/ former champion, Mr. Luck himself. The Love Taxi.
Producer, live in studio.
Live in the studio.
Live in the studio in Sheridan. He's up here for work. Asked him to come show us how to run OBS a little bit.
Took me 2 minutes.
Took him 2 minutes, and we are up and streaming on YouTube. I hope people tune into this. This is not being recorded. I did not click record, Dalton, for the podcast.
But it'll be live.
But it will be live.
The second we end the stream, it'll be back up to watch in all of its former glory. So,
On YouTube?
Yes.
It'll be on YouTube. It just won't be on Apple Podcasts this week.
That's fine. It's not necessary. It's literally just for the Facebook group because this is going to be a post that lives in the Facebook group all summer. Because when you want to go back and figure out what position you are when you forgot, when you went to your first mock draft lobby, you can go back and watch this 15 to 20 to 30 minute live stream and skip towards you where the draft order is. Now, first order of business, I would assume, would be to re-update everyone on the State of the Union address that we provided in podcast form. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough.
All right. So, Zach, if you wanted to siphon on over to the Gem City Gridiron League rules.
Yes.
And start rifling down those bad boys.
Yep. So, a little bit of the draft information we talked about. We are raising the entry fee to $40. I did put a post, a poll on the Facebook page. If you have not voted, please get your vote in. For what we'd like to do with that extra funds, either continue to keep that same bar tab, a material or monetary prize for first place for regular season or highest points scored, or cash or a material prize. So go vote on that. Majority will rule, I suppose, on that. I think there's 6 people that have voted. It's pretty close, neck and neck on that. But go get your voice heard and let us know what you guys want to do with the extra funds after we pay jerseys and all the prizes. Producer fees.
Second order of business is the NBA Draft Lottery will be held live on ESPN on June 2nd. Those of you tuning in, it's the purpose of this entire live stream to assign teams in order for the first time we can finally accomplish the goal we set 3 years ago, which was to assign teams to watch the lottery.
Pull that down one. There you go. There's some light.
Oh, there's some light.
Jeez.
Yeah. Set the mood.
Setting the mood for drunkenness. No,
but that being said, it was last year we were going to do this for the first time, and then COVID happened, and they pushed everything back with the NBA season. So we ended up just running the lottery twice. In the past, we've done it 3 times. This is the first year. It is the one and only one-time, one-pop shot for the NBA. So if you think anything's rigged, take it up with Adam Silver and the NBA.
I'll be right there with you on that lawsuit.
So, Zachary, before we get to the meat and potatoes, the reason why people are tuning in, let's talk about playoffs and the toilet bowl.
Playoffs?
Yes, the playoffs. We did update the playoff schedule because of the added regular season game to the NFL schedule. So the playoff weeks will now be 15, 16, and 17 with no games in week 18 for us. We want to finish that week early so we don't run into, teams sitting starters and everything. It's still going to be interesting to see how the NFL manages that if they do sit some players early. But with that change in the schedule and then only the number 1 seed getting the bye week, there's not a lot of teams probably going to be sitting folks if you got seeding on the line. So we should be fine. And that's for the top 8, 15, 16, 17. That's the standard 8 teams get in. The 2 division winners are the 1 and 2 seed, and then the next 6 wild card teams. And then for the toilet bowl, we're going to continue with week 15, 16, 2-week semifinal. You have 2 weeks to prove you are not the shittiest team. Yes, that is the first one.
Here.
So the toilet bowl seeds 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. You have 2 weeks to prove you are not the poo-poo team for the last place, and then we will have the 1 week final. So the matches that matter, the matchups that matter in week 17 will be the championship game, the 3rd place game, and the toilet seat game.
Yep.
So those are what everyone's fighting for in the last place in the last week of the season.
Now, on to the changes to the automatic loss rule. It's not really changes, it's more of a clarification. We did run into one issue last year, but it didn't actually matter as the individual lost anyway. Is that correct?
That was correct. Hopefully, it doesn't bite him in the ass in the lottery in a little bit. But the automatic loss thing is still the same. Make sure you're setting a solid lineup every week. We don't want people to tank. We want people to fight to the very end. That's the whole reason the lottery's in place. And as you can see, if you follow the NBA and their lottery system, they've changed the way they've done their lottery. So people don't tank. A lot of teams, the top 3, the 3 worst teams have the same odds for the number 1 pick. So that kind of takes away that tanking aspect. So the team that finished, that did not make the toilet bowl game has just the same odds as the person that finished dead last. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
Alrighty then, and out further ado. Now, boys, would we like to share the screen or read this off?
We'll read it off. It'll be posted later, especially once the draft gets closer. Yeah, it's gonna be harder to share on OBS. We're still a little noobs on OBS.
Still figuring it out.
I need another minute, and Dalton rushed me, so I didn't have it.
All right. So
all
here's
good.
the deal. We're gonna read all of these off, and to preserve suspense and make you actually watch this,
That's
we aren't gonna post the order for probably at least a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
So if you
right
want to know,
before the lottery. So if you want to know beforehand, you
watch
gotta
the
watch
video.
this.
Yep. So one other thing about the NBA lottery, there are technically 14 teams in the NBA lottery. The number 13 and 14 seed have a very, very, very small chance to move up. If somehow the 13 and 14 seed were to jump up in the actual NBA lottery, we would just move everyone up 1 spot and follow that line. I've never seen a 13 or 14 seed jump in the lottery. It is very rare because they can only be like the 13 seed can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 13. So odds are they're going to be at 13. They have like a 98% chance to be 13. So that's not going to matter. Do we want to go in reverse, start from 12 to 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely last.
So we'll read the owner's name, the team they're assigned, and then their odds for the top 4 selection and the first pick overall. Dalton, do you want to do the odds? I'll do the evens.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay. So starting at 12 is your defending champion, which is your commissioner. I guess not the people's commissioner, but he is the commissioner. That is myself. My team assigned is actually my favorite NBA team, the San Antonio Spurs. Hopefully they bring me a little bit of luck. With the percentages, a top 4 selection chance, and the first pick overall is I have a 1.7% chance to take home the number 1 pick in our fantasy draft. So you're saying there's a chance, there's just a little bit, but I'll take that chance. But that is perfectly fine.
Focus, focus.
Are they still using actual ping pong balls, or is
They
it all digital
are.
now?
So actually, the odds actually changed again this last year. There's a lot. The 6 through 9 kind of got bumped up, and those lower teams kind of got pushed down. So there's going to be a lot of movement. I forecast a lot of movement in the top. I mean, even the 8, 9, and 10 all have the same odds for top 4. So it's going to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to the team in the 11 hole.
So we've got Cole Smith, who I think may be in right now. I'm not 100% sure. He is going to be sitting at the 11th pick and assigned the Charlotte Hornets by Michael Jordan. He has an 8.5% chance at a top 4 pick, as well as a 1.8% chance at.
Bartholomew, hello. How you doing?
Matthew live in the chat saying that there's a 50% chance of movement. There's a 60% chance it's already raining.
Oh man. So we'll move on to our 3rd place finisher this last year, and that's Heath Sims. He has been assigned the team of the New Orleans Pelicans. These odds aren't going to change the next couple picks. This is where it's a big jump. Cole Smith was only 8.5% chance for the top 4 pick. Heath, 20.3% for the top 4, and a 4.5% chance for the number 1 overall pick.
Now moving on down to pick number 9. We've got Lucas Stewart is associated with the Sacramento Kings and everything that they stand for. He also has a 20.3% chance at a top 4 pick, as well as a 5% chance.
And this may sound redundant, but Cody Jubal, two-time Sackett, is in the 8 hole, with the team assigned as the Chicago Bulls by virtue of the Orlando Magic, or vice versa. The Magic would receive the Bulls pick if it's a top, I believe, 4 pick. So on draft night, if it's Bulls forwarded to the Magic, that will be Cody Jubal Sackett's team. Because there is another Orlando Magic pick in the top 15. So
a little confusing, but we'll flesh it out.
Yep.
No worries.
And so that being said, Jubal Sackett also has a 20.3% chance to hold a top 4 selection, and a 4.5% chance to hold the number 1 overall pick.
Yes, Lucas Stewart and the Sacramento Kings are synonymous. All right, next up, we do have Cody Blaster Englert. He'll be assigned to the Toronto Raptors, sitting in the 7 hole.
A big jump.
31.9% chance at the top 4 and a 7.5% chance at the first overall pick.
All right, we are halfway through the number 6 team. We have our Sippin' with the Sarge Deputy Commissioner Dalton Van Pelt.
Should I get you mustache bastard?
Pennant Commish.
What? And the Pennant Commish.
Pennant. Oh, yeah.
If anybody wants to know, Dalton and I are in a fierce battle this week in the Gym City Pennant. Very close game.
It's very close.
Dalton's teams assigned would be the Minnesota Timberwolves / the Golden State Warriors. That pick is
I believe it's going to pop up as Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, it will probably pop up as the Warriors. As Matthew says, the Dalton Lizard Eater. it probably will be a Warriors pick by virtue of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He has a 37.2% chance at a top 4 selection and holds a 9% chance to get the elusive number 1 pick.
All right, moving on down, we got Garrett Dark Horse Brinkman. I don't know why that name wasn't involved. Breakdown of names.
Yeah, that's Dark Horse.
Sorry.
He is associated with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Larry Nance Jr., and all the LeBron tiers. He has a 45.1% chance at a top 5 pick, as well as an 11.5% chance at the first.
Moving on to a newcomer last year, Drew Berwick. He's being associated with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He will have the exact same odds as one of his buddies, Garrett. 45.1% chance for a top 4 selection and 11.5% chance for that number 1 overall pick. The number 1 overall pick is very interesting. Like, it doesn't look like a whole lot of difference, but it all adds up to 100%, and someone's got to get that first pick. So let's
next up.
Bring the Thunder.
Orlando Magic.
Bring what Thunder?
I had to. I'm sorry.
All right.
Anyway.
Next up, we're boomers. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Moving on to the true.
Are we on the
Orlando
YouTube
Magic
or what?
pick. I don't know.
Yeah, we're on.
Stuart
We're
Brinkman
streaming
with the
not
third
boomers.
pick, actually associated with the Orlando Magic. This is our first selector with 52.1% chance at the top 4 and 14% chance at the first overall pick. Like we said before, basically, if you land in the toilet bowl, you've got the same odds either way.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So don't fight your butt off to not finish last place. The third place loser still has the same chance. I mean, Cole last year finished dead last, and he ended up getting the 5th pick. You never know where you're going to end up. Moving on to the person in the 2 hole, a former champion, Patrick Turn.
Fellow rock licker.
Fellow rock licker for Bill.
Patrick Rocklicker Turn.
There it is.
Matthew. Matt knows I don't watch The Office, so I know who Michael Scott is, but I just blah, blah, blah. But Patrick Turner will be associated with the team of the Detroit Pistons. 52.1% chance for that top 4 pick, and again, 14% chance for the number 1 overall pick.
And lastly, Christopher Lean. I've
Toilet
already
seater.
informed him.
Toilet seater.
Is he rocking the toilet seat? Do we have photographic?
He is rocking the toilet seat.
All right.
I already informed Lean of his team association because I already know he's not going to look at this because he has a fake Facebook anyway, and I have to tell him every time there's a post on here for him to vote on it.
Fair.
But anyway, he is associated with the Houston Rockets, which I don't think is going to come up as OKC because it is a protected pick.
Yep. So it would only come up as OKC if they land in that number 5 spot.
Yep, 5 or after.
Okay.
Well, so number 1 can only fall to 5. That's their range.
And that's the only way it's Oklahoma City.
That's the only way if it's OKC is if they fall to pick 5, which is possible. It's
unlikely.
It's very unlikely. They have a 52% chance to be top 4, so it's. But
and
there's
a 14% chance to be number 1.
Yeah. So, that is the order. The day of the NBA lottery is Tuesday, June 22nd on ESPN. So if you would, I know people would love to tune in and watch that. It'd be great to just
We
chat.
might do a live stream for it.
We could do a live stream for it.
No promises.
No
but
promises.
we'll see
It
what
is my 2nd anniversary that day, so there might probably not happening. We could do a live stream the next night to recap. That would be great.
Don't give me a call. We'll do it live for you.
Deal.
Yeah, so that's the order. Everyone's assigned their team. I'll do a quick recap real fast. Lean, Houston Rockets, OKC. Patrick Turn, the Pistons. Stuart Brinkman, Orlando Magic. Drew, OKC Thunder. Garrett Brinkman, Cleveland Cavaliers. Dalton Van Pelt, Minnesota / Golden State Warriors. Blaster Engler, Toronto Raptors. Jubal Sackett, Bulls / Orlando. Lucas, the Sacramento Kings. That just sounds like an awful thing. Heath Sims, the Pelicans. Cole Smith, the Charlotte Hornets. And your defending champion, Zach Stewart, with the San Antonio Spurs. All the odds are up there. May the odds ever be in your favor. I hope everyone tunes into the NBA lottery. I hope this is a tradition that is for years to come.
Unlike any other.
Tradition like any other. It's just something I hope that eventually, like, if people want to meet up for that night, like if people can come over to another person's house and just hang out, it's just something that I think is going to be very interesting. It's going to be out of our hands for the first time ever. So I just hope everything goes well. Matt, be quiet.
Matt might have just named the leagues for this year, the divisions. Maybe we should make that an announcement to end this. If you stayed listening, now that you know which team you're associated with, first of all, thank you. Yes. Thank
Secondly,
you
like, comment, subscribe
to the Gym City Gridiron YouTube page.
Yes.
And also, maybe let's start brainstorming some division names, guys, because we always struggle at the very end to try to find something in pop culture which accurately depicts our league and how goofy it is.
How old we are.
Last year was COVID and Corona, so
before that it was Hillary and Trump.
And then the year before that, I believe, was
North
Union
and
and Confederacy.
Yeah, the North and the South. Yeah. that right with the times on that one, ladies and germs. Let me tell you.
So if you have ideas for the division names, shoot them our way. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great year. Like Dalton said, we'll do a recap once the lottery is actually set, which will be June 22nd. And then everyone will have about a few months to be able to get some mock drafts in and know where they're drafting at.
Don't need to prepare, just wing it.
Or just wing it like Bill.
It worked.
And now we're rambling, so let's go ahead and end this video so we can stop the torture. How's that?
Yep. One other thing, remember, the draft will be a live draft as it's been in years past. Sunday of Labor Day weekend at the Library Bar in Laramie. In Laramie, Wyoming.
You are expected to be there.
Everyone is expected to be there. Everyone is coming back. I'm excited for that. We do have an Airbnb set up, so if you are looking to crash for a night, please let us know.
You'll be rooming with Lucas.
Yeah.
And the Sacramento Kings.
And the Sacramento Kings.
All the Kings.
All the Kings. Yeah, we'll be laughing our ass off when the Sacramento Kings have the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, right.
So, that being said, may the odds ever be in your favor, and good luck.